Hello YouTube, Mr. Beam is here with another video. In this video I'm actually going to continue my previous one to create a 2D detail item family line based for showing the reinforcements. So I will just add the link for the previous video in this area and you can just click on it. So um, as you can see on the right hand side, on the left hand side, so we have individual bars. We are going to replace these families with a line based, so it would be easier for us. If in the future the engineer decide to change this N16 to each 200 each face, we can just easily change it. So now let's go to the file and let's go to the new, and on the family let's go to the English folder and let's looking for metric detail item line based and click on open. So first of all, we are going to use the family we just created in previous video, which is this reo.mrbeam. So we can just go to the edit family and just load it to the new family, which is load into project and close, and we will choose the family 5, the family that you just created. We can hit on the no because we actually didn't change anything. So I'm actually going to place this family dot in this intersection. I'm hitting on scale. So we are going to change this scale to 1 to 5 to just see better, and I'm going just to make this length around, let's say 640. Let's do it 600. Okay, now let's click on this family. If we go to the edit type, you can see there is a diameter. So if we want to change its diameter, so we have to just associate the family parameter. So let's click on it and let's create new family, new parameter, and on type, let's type it diameter, and let's click on OK. Let's click on OK. Let's go and click on OK. Let's test it. Go to the family types and change this diameter to, let's say, 20, and even you can just change it to 21. So let's change it to 20 again. So now we need a new parameter. We will set it as instance. I will call it just S, representing a spacing. Let's click on OK, and let's click on OK here. So now let's click on the family. We want to create array, so we can type AR or just clicking on this icon. I'm going to choose the move to last, and the number for now I will just choose it 4 because I want just to see to 4, because if I keep it 2, it just not showing too much changes. So let's click on the center of the family and then clicking this intersection. I'm just clicking on the space and then clicking on the array. I can on the label just add a parameter. Let's keep it as an instance, and I'm going to just name it NO, and I'm clicking on OK. So first of all, if I move this one, it will not move because it's not aligned with that reference line. Let's type AL for align, or you can choose it from modify line. I'm picking this reference line or reference plane, and then I'm picking this the last bar, and I'm just going to lock it. So hitting on the space, I'm just testing whenever I'm moving this one, it's always is 4. But we want to change, we want this family just change its number automatically. So let's go to the family types again, and let's define some parameters. So if we have the spacing as 200, then we need another parameter calling NO1, which is initially calculated number of the bars we need. I will choose this one as an instance. I will just click on OK. So how many bars we need? We need the length to be divided by spacing, and if I click on the apply, so it just says that it's inconsistent because let's go to the edit family types again and just creating a new parameter. We are going to set it as instance. We will call it as NO1, and the type of the parameter should be integer, and I'm clicking on OK. So this NO1 is equals to length divided by S. For now S is 0. That's because we're receiving an error, so I'm going just choose S, entering 200 for the S, and again we can type here length divided by S. Now it's 4. So let's click on OK, and let's click on one of these, and let's choose this one as a number 1 length. Okay, so let's type DI and picking this reference line and picking this one, and let's just have it there. So as you can see, there is a problem. So we want our spacing to be maximum 200. If I change this one, you can see that it will just create more reinforcement. Let me just exaggerate it. But still the spacing is more than 230. So that means we need another one to be added. So let's go to the family types, and let's say that we need length divided by S, then plus 1, and hit OK and hit apply. So now let's check it again. So as you can see that it still is 204. So most of the cases, let me just change this one to, for example, there. So 190 is great. I'm just using the arrows to nudge. Let's say, so this is 200. 800 is the maximum, is the total length, and this is exactly 200. So let's see that. So even I have 215, 220, 223, and then it will just change to 181 because it's just adding another reinforcement. So still we have to fix this family. Let's go to the family types. So what I'm going to do, I will just create a new parameter. I will just call it check. I will choose it as an instance, so I will just call it check, and this type is length, and I'm just hitting on OK. So there's a misspelling here, so one of the C should go, and I will have this one as a length divided by that NOY minus 1. Let's click on apply. So as you can see right now is 181. let's click on OK. Let's nudge this one a little bit back. So it's now is the current spacing is 224. Is that correct? Yeah, it's correct. So let's go to the family types again. Now, as you can see, the check is 223, which is the current spacing. So, and now, so in this case, if this check is more than 200, we need to add another reinforcement. That means this number 1 should change to 6 if this check is more than 200. If less than is 200, that's okay. So that means we have to add a new parameter. I will call it as a factor. Okay, and it should be integer because the numbers are integer, and we'll just click on OK. So there is a condition for this factor. It says if parenthesis open, parenthesis close, inside the parenthesis, if check is greater than s, and if this condition is correct, it will return 1. If it's not correct, it will return 0. So now the check, which is 223, is more than the s. That means I want this factor be 1. Then I will add this 1 to the NO1, so it will turn to 6. So in this case, I just need to have the number, the actual number of the reinforcements to be equal to number 1 plus factor. Sometimes the factor is 0, sometimes the factor is 1. So in this case, the number is 6. So now this is the number of the reinforcement I need, which is number. So it's not number 1 anymore. So now I can change this array number 1 to the number, which is the correct one. As you can see, right now the current spacing is 179. So let's just move this one to close the 200. C is 190, 995, 8. So this is exactly 200, and the length is 1000. If I have another one, then it will just automatically add another reinforcement. So now let's go to the family types, and I just really like to, so that check right now is not the current it's not the current spacing. So what we can do is, just to showing the current spacing, I can divide this length by the number of the reinforcements minus 1, or I can just add a parameter to this one only to display, because I just want to display it just as my reference. So let's actually assign a parameter to this one as an instance and saying current spacing. I'm hitting on OK, and I'm going to the family types, and the current spacing is 167. I will just lock it just as a display. So I will put this one on the graphics and clicking on OK. So the current spacing is that. So let's click on OK, and let's go to the family types again. So I'm going to just have different types, but before that, what I want is to change this S to type parameter. Can I do that? Let's change to the type, and Yes, we can just do it. So let's change this 200 to 150 and see what will happen. I'm clicking on apply, and you can see it says the construct not satisfied. So the reason is because we just assigned a locked parameter to this one. What we are going to do, I'm going just to cancel this. I'm going just to delete this dimension. Let's go to the family types again. Let's check if we can change the S to 150, and it's totally fine, it's working. So we want to see the current spacing. No worries, I will change this one to 200 again. I'm going to have a new parameter, and I will just have it as an instance. I will just call it current spacing, and I will put it in graphics. I'm hitting on OK. So it says that it's already there, so we don't need to create it because we already did. Oh yeah, we have it actually. So on the formula, we are going to say that the length divided by parentheses open, parentheses close, NO minus 1. So now is 167, the current spacing, and if you change the spacing 150 and hitting the apply, the actual spacing is right now is 143. And the thing is, again, this S is a maximum. You can change its name. I mean, having like a maximum spacing. So now, what I like to do, I want to have this one instead of an instance having as a type. I'm going just to edit it, and I will just choose it as a type. Let's click on OK, let's apply. There is no problem, which is good. So now let's have a new type. Let's say N16 150. Let's click on OK. So 16 140 150 and diameter is 16. Let's click on apply. Let's have N20 H200. So diameter is 220 and spacing is 200. And let's click on apply. So as you can see, whenever I'm changing this type, it will only change these two parameters. So let's click on OK. Let's save this beautiful family, and I will call it Reo line based master beam, having the option for one recovery file, and let's click on save, and let's load it to the project. So I'm going to annotate and component. As you can see, the Reo line based master beam is there. Let's just test it here. Oh, it's working fantastic. So this one is N16 every 150. So what I'm going to do, I will just delete this one. I will also delete this one. I will delete all these bars. Select all instances visible in this view. Yes, and delete. Let's go again to components. N16 every 150. I'm clicking here, and I'm just clicking here. So now I can just fix it there and there. Now it's just beautiful. So I will just click on it. I will type mm for mirror. I will mirror it from to this axis. It's seems that it's not correct, but anyway, I can just nudge it to the other corner. So if the engineer asking me change this one N16 200 each face, then I will just click on this one. So we don't have any N16 200, but I can go to the edit type, I can duplicate it, I can say N16 200, click on OK, spacing is 200, and click on OK. And it just beautifully will change it. You can click on this one and changing its type to N16 200, which is this one. It's just so beautiful. And if the engineer asking N20 each 300, for example, so we are going to just change its type. We will duplicate it, call it N20 300. This one will be 20 and this one will be 300. So we are expecting its diameter getting bigger and also the spacing. So I'm clicking on OK. As you can see, the bar is also getting bigger and also its spacing. And also I'm going to just change the other face to N20 300. Simple as that. And the only thing is we have to just move this to here. Now it's all done. How it is beautiful. This is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching.